Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time, and welcome to my channel. Boy, oh boy, is this an interesting and an intense episode of Ignition Time? I'm going to highlight comments from the chairman of I'm going to highlight comments from Adam Schiff, who's the chairman of the Joint Intelligence Committee, and I'm going to highlight comments from the incoming Biden Chief of Staff, Ron Klain. Remember, the existing Chief of Staff is Mark Meadows, and he's no longer going to be the Chief of Staff. It's going to be Ron Klain. He's going to be the chief of staff to President-elect Biden. And I'm going to highlight comments from the chairman of the Joint Intelligence Committee, Adam Schiff, who is not a friend, of Donald Trump. But in this video, folks, I'm going to answer the question, is it likely that Trump could be cut off from future intelligence briefings? Now, keep in mind, I'm just a messenger here, so please don't blame the messenger. I'm reporting what is happening to our viewers and subscribers in real time. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. This channel, the Ignition Time channel, is about the country, it's about the economy, and it's about your money. I want to highlight things that are going on in our country so that our viewers, so that our subscribers can make informed decisions accordingly. I want you to know that you're greatly appreciated, and I'm going to jump right in and tell you what the news is right now. Now, according to multiple sources, both Adam Schiff and I'll show you the interview, as well as the incoming White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain, have essentially, well, Adam Schiff has openly said that that Trump should not get future intelligence briefings, but the incoming White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain basically responded to comments from an existing Trump cabinet member who said Trump should not get future intelligence briefings. Quite unbelievable, this day and age, this news cycle that we live in. And I'm going to show you comments from both of them, like I said. But first, let me start by showing you comments from Bloomberg. And Bloomberg says Trump must be cut off from intelligent briefings, according to a Democrat. I'm specifically referring to comments from Adam Schiff. He was on CBS's Face the Nation, and what Adam Schiff said is that there's no circumstance in which this president should get another intelligence briefing. I don't think he can be trusted with it now or in the future. Wow, pretty strong comments, folks. Pretty strong comments from Adam Schiff. Let me know in the comment section below whether you agree. Here's a statement actually, it's not really a statement. It's more like somebody dodging the question. This is the Biden Chief of Staff. He does not rule out stopping intelligence briefings for Trump. Super interesting statements. And he said, when he was specifically asked whether Trump would get intelligence briefing. By the way, this is something that Biden's team can decide to do or not to do. He said, we'll certainly look for a recommendation from the intelligence professionals in the Biden-Harris administration once they are in place and act on that recommendation. And what is extremely interesting is that that there are individuals who feel that he should not get access to this information. Here's a statement from Angus King, who's a Maine independent and a member of the Senate Intelligence Committee. He said, there's a grave danger of him inadvertently or willfully revealing classified information that could compromise sources and methods. There is no upside. There is no reason that he needs to have this information. It's a courtesy that's being passed on from president to president, but there is no legal requirement. And I think given his past history of being fast and loose with intelligence data, there ought to be an easy decision for the incoming president. Pretty strong comments, everyone. Again, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's actually take a look at what Ron Klain had to say, who is, like I said, the incoming Biden Chief of Staff. Let's take a look at comments from Ron Klain, and then we can check out his response together. Let's take a look.
As a 30-plus year veteran of the intelligence community, is not to provide him any brief.
By the way, folks, this is the surprising part. On your screen, you're seeing a quote from the Wall Street Journal, a quote from the Washington Post, where Susan Gordon, who's a former principal deputy director of national intelligence, appointed by Trump. So she's a member of Trump's cabinet. So you have Susan Gordon, a former principal deputy director of national intelligence, she said a former President Trump won't need to know cut off his intelligence. And she said, my recommendation as a 30-plus veteran of the intelligence community is not to provide him any briefings after January 20th.
Briefings after January 20th. With this simple act, which is solely the new president's prerogative, Joe Biden can mitigate one aspect of the potential national security risk posed by Donald Trump private citizen, unquote. Will you take her recommendation?
We'll certainly look for a recommendation from the intelligence professionals in the Biden administration, Biden-Harris administration, once they're in place, and we'll act on that recommendation. Obviously, we don't have those intelligence professionals in place yet. Hope the Senate moves to confirm them quickly, and then we'll look at what they recommend.
Now, wait till you hear the next comment from Jake Tapper, who's saying this is basically a comment coming from somebody who used to work for President Trump, who was nominated by the Trump administration, and she would know more than your incoming people. Pretty strong comments from the host right here.
In terms of intelligence sharing going forward.
Well, that's Trump's deputy director of national intelligence. I think she probably has an even firmer grasp on it than your people.
Yeah, well, we want to hear from our intelligence professionals their recommendations.
Again, folks, just a sign of the highly bizarre times that we live in. Let's go back and let me show you another article on your screen published by Politico. And Politico says, and I'm quoting Adam Schiff, he says Trump should be denied intelligence briefings. Now, keep in mind, former presidents are generally accorded this privilege. And Adam Schiff said there's no circumstance in which this president should get another intelligence briefing. Not now, not in the future. I don't think he can be trusted with it now. And in the future, he certainly can't be trusted. Pretty strong comments, everyone. And again, these are comments after, these are comments sort of piggybacking on what Susan Gordon said. And I did show you Susan Gordon's comments earlier. In fact, she wrote an op-ed for the Washington Post. Let's take a look at this op-ed. And she wrote, a former President Trump won't need to know, cut off his intelligence. And again, this article, folks, this is super surprising. This is actually written by Susan Gordon, who said that my recommendation as a 30-year veteran of the intelligence community is not to provide him any briefings after the 20th of January. And she said that this could be a potential national security threat. Pretty, guys, unbelievable times. Unbelievable reporting. Let's listen to what Trump's best friend, Adam Schiff, I'm kidding, he's not his best friend, had to say about this. Let's take a look. And Adam Schiff was interviewed on CBS's Face the Nation. And let's see what Adam Schiff had to say about this situation. Again, let me be clear, no love lost between Adam Schiff and President Trump. Let's hear what Schiff had to say about this situation.
We turn now to the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Adam Schiff. Good morning to you, Mr. Chairman.
Good morning.
There is a very visible security presence on the streets here in the nation's capital right now. What is your understanding of the threat level in the days ahead?
Well, it's very high, and you're absolutely right. It reminds me of visiting Baghdad, going to the Green Zone and seeing so much military presence and barricades. I never thought I would see that in our own capital or that it would be necessary, but there is a profound threat from domestic violent extremists of the nature we saw on January 6th. There are people coming to the Washington, D.C. area. They are bringing weapons, and we see threats to capitals all over the country, all 50 state capitals. Now, I think the inauguration will proceed, and it will proceed safely, but there will be gatherings of individuals, and those gatherings could turn violent. So there's a very high level of risk.
Capitol Hill Police confirmed this week that they are investigating whether members of Congress gave unauthorized or unsanctioned tours that could have provided reconnaissance support to those who then attacked the Capitol days later. There are supporters of QAnon among elected and sitting lawmakers. Do you have any sense of whether there was support that fellow members aided the attacks?
I don't know the answer to that, Margaret. Obviously, it's deeply important that we find out, and that if there are members of Congress that are complicit beyond the complicity of challenging the election and propagating the president's lies, but more specifically involved in helping individuals do reconnaissance, they need to be held accountable in the strongest way that we can. Along with my fellow chairs, we are beginning an investigation into what went wrong, into the intelligence failures, and I think there's a massive intelligence and security failure here that needs to be fully investigated, and we hope to get answers to these questions.
What about your fellow lawmakers who sit on the committees that oversee the Capitol Hill Police, for example? Do they bear some responsibility as well?
Well, they'll be doing their own investigation as well. The particular lane I'm focused on is the intelligence. What did we know before the attack of the likelihood of violence against the Capitol that day? Was that intelligence disseminated?
And a lot of these intelligence discussions are ongoing, everyone. We still have to understand exactly what happened and how this whole situation came to be. But I do think we'll find out more in the coming days. But I think when we know the full picture of this, we're going to be in for a lot of surprises, because I don't think any of us know the full picture yet. The lawmakers definitely don't know. And you're looking at one of the individuals on the Intelligence Committee who says, we're waiting for the full picture. Let's get back to Adam Schiff.
It was, why wasn't made use of? But we're also going to be examining the Capitol Police and its structure and its leadership and what changes need to be made there. And I have every confidence that Zoe Lofgren and the House Administration Committee will perform those responsibilities along with Benny Thompson and Homeland Security and other committees.
Have you seen any evidence of foreign support, financial or otherwise, for any of these domestic organizations involved in the siege?
Well, we are going to try to follow the money. That's a critical part of any investigation. I know Carolyn Maloney has taken a particular interest in that issue, and that is who was funding this, who was supporting this, how much were they involved in, what ultimately.
We're about to hear his comments on Trump in the next couple minutes.
Took place on January 6th. Following the money is a vital part of our investigative plan. That is the Congress broadly, and any investigation into a tragedy this substantial.
In your role on the committee, you have some oversight of the intelligence community. Sue Gordon, who I know you know, one of the nation's top intelligence professionals for decades, wrote an op-ed yesterday in which she said President Trump is a security threat himself, and when he leaves office, he should be denied access to.
And folks, this is the article that I was talking to you about earlier from Sue Gordon. Pretty surprising. Again, this is from a Trump appointee, but pretty surprising. Let's hear Schiff's response.
To intelligence briefings. Would you urge the Biden administration to do that?
Absolutely. There's no circumstance in which this president should get another intelligence briefing. Not now, not in the future. I don't think he can be trusted with it now, and in the future he certainly can't be trusted. Indeed, there were, I think, any number of intelligence partners of ours around the world who probably started withholding information from us because they didn't trust the president would safeguard that information and protect their sources and methods. And that makes us less safe. We've seen this president politicize intelligence, and that's another risk to the country.
With just a few days to go, the Trump administration is reportedly installing a GOP operative at the National Security.
So, folks, that was the key piece of information. I want to know what you folks think in the comment section below. Very, very, very surprising information, everyone. I want to know in the comment section below whether what you folks think about this, because again, this, like I mentioned, this is extremely surprising. It's highly unusual for us folks to even be having this kind of a discussion, but unfortunately, something like this is indeed part of our national discourse, and it is. Whether we like it or not, it is getting politicized. And speaking of things getting politicized, I have some important news for you. I don't know if you caught this earlier, but I do want to make sure I report this important news to you right now about a new suspension from Twitter. So, folks, I can report that the account of Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is a not a congresswoman, she's a senator from Georgia. The Associated Press has reported that Twitter has suspended the account of Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, Republican from Georgia, for 12 hours. And again, this is very surprising what's going on. So I'm going to ask you folks to comment below. Let me know what you think. And I'm going to leave you with some important messages. Let me know what you think below. I'll be checking out the comments, but I'm going to leave you with some. Actually, before I do that, before I forget, folks, this is my Twitter account. Definitely follow me on Twitter. Our Twitter community is growing very rapidly. You'll see what I'm posting, what I'm retweeting in real time. And this is going to be my Twitter feed, folks, is going to be a very comprehensive source of real-time news for all of you. So definitely follow me on Twitter. Let me show this to you again. My Twitter handle is ignition_time. That's ignition_time. So definitely follow me on Twitter. I'm going to leave you folks with some important messages right now. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. I want you to know that you are greatly appreciated. This right here is a little bit of information about me. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. Definitely check out my video. Keep in mind that this channel, the Ignition Time channel, is about the country, it's about the economy, and it's about your money. Me and my team work hard every single day to try and bring you important news related to the country, the economy, and related to your money. We release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. That's 2 p.m. East Coast time. If you want to get on our SMS alerts list, simply get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000. That's 70000, and you'll get added to SMS alerts list moving forward. You can also get added to our email list. Simply go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts, and you'll get added to our email list going forward. Now, sometimes YouTube does not always send out notifications on time, so simply bookmark youtube.com/ignitiontime. That's youtube.com/ignitiontime. And then you'll be able to visit the homepage of our channel and you'll be able to check out our videos at any point in time that you want. You can also follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is ignition_time. That's ignition_time. You can also follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is also ignition_time. That's ignition_time. Now, the unique thing about Twitter, in fact, I'll show you my Twitter feed on your screen right now. Our Twitter community is growing very rapidly. The unique thing about Twitter is you'll know what I'm reading. I retweet in real time. So you'll be able to actually get the news from me in real time through Twitter. So make sure you sign up for a Twitter account if you haven't already, and make sure you follow me at ignition_time on Twitter. Now, one of the things I'm especially proud about and I'm really, really happy to see is our growing community. Our community is intelligent, it's bipartisan, it's respectful. So definitely comment below and become a part of our growing community. And when you comment below, you'll make some new friends in our growing community. Speaking of community, all I ask is that you please share this video with just 2 friends or family members, just 2 friends or family members. I would really appreciate that. And as always, you'll get a link to all of our resources in the description section below. If you learn something new, please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.